Shark Game here, and in this video I'm going to talk about why women get into relationships. Why do women get into relationships? So, okay, let's get into this. I really don't like talking about topics like this very often, but I get a lot of questions pertaining to why women do what they do, why women get into relationships with certain types of guys that they do. And, there's a lot of guys out here that really have a hard time accepting women for who they are. They are who they are. There's a lot of guys they want things to be the way they want it to be. They want to control women. They want to this is my bitch. It's that type of attitude. A lot of guys are control freaks out here. See, so I've come to the I've just come to the realization that a lot of guys want to believe certain things because they want to be able to go to sleep good at night, and this justifies why they can be mediocre and average, subpar, and why they have so much problems with women, why they have so much problem with just life in general. And that's because they just don't want to see things for what it really is. A lot of guys are like this. So see, if you really think about it, most women, they get with guys for multiple different reasons. And sex is not one of them. Sex is not something that, women get married to guys for. It can be a part of it, but it's not. 9 times out of 10, even you as a guy, the woman you got married to, or the woman that you're living with, or in a long-term relationship with, she's probably not the best you ever had. That's just reality. That's just what it is. I mean, it happens, but it doesn't happen all the time. That's not common. The women that I've been with in the past, I called them my girlfriend or my wife or whatever you want to call it, whatever title you want to put on them, they're not the best I ever had in the sack. That's just practical thinking here. Let's get real here. See, that's even just that. That's a lot for a guy to accept. See, because a lot of guys don't want to hear what happened in the past with the woman that they got with. They don't want to know her. That's why they don't want to know her body count, her history with guys. They don't want to know anything. They don't want to talk about any of that stuff. This is why guys have a hard time accepting women that's been with multiple guys. Or maybe the girl got train ran on her in college, or maybe she go to adult private parties every once in a while. See, they don't want to hear that. Yeah, that's maybe she's a loving. She could be a grandmother. Could be your grandmother. Could be your mom. She's loving, caring, nurturing. She's all about family. She's somebody that you can talk to and share your most intimate moments with. But every once in a while, she's going to a swingers party or a private party. See, that's just something that a lot of guys just have a hard time wrapping their mind around, because they have their perception of how a woman's supposed to be. She's supposed to be like holy endowed. You know, a woman that goes to, like for example, a woman that goes to church every Sunday, in most guys' minds, is not supposed to be promiscuous. She's not supposed to be with multiple guys. She's supposed to be married. She's supposed to have to work 5 days a week, take care of the kids, take care of the household. She's not supposed to be freaky at all. You know. But this is what has happened to a lot of guys. You know. This is this is why a lot of guys have a hard time accepting women for who they really are. You know. One thing I can tell you about being a man, just being a male, period. The guys that have access to resources, and the guys that know how to blow that back out real good, they're gonna always have access to women. They're gonna always have women. Always. This just has to happen. Women are always going to gravitate towards those guys. Guys that have access to resources, or guys guys can knock that thing out, or guys that have both. They gonna always have access to women. Always. Always. If you're a beta guy, or you're a, I guess, kind of feminine type guy or whatever, women will settle with you, but they won't be sexually satisfied. They'll sneak out eventually. And you ask me, well, how do you know? Because I've met women that snuck out to be with me. Now see, but here's the deal. At that time, I could not prove that they were married. I just had an idea, a hunch. But I'm in my 20s at the time. I really don't got time to be investigating to see if you're married or not. I'm just trying to have a good time. Just like she's trying to have a good time. But I know that, some of these women were married. Had to. Had to be married. But there's one thing you have to understand. In any society, you can't have women just running rapid, having sex with guys everywhere. Has to be a certain structure in place to kind of keep things to a minimum, so to speak. Women can't be, just willy-nilly out here, like a loose cannon. Now there are always going to be some women that are going to be like that. A small percentage of women that just don't care. They just want to live that life, live that lifestyle. It's always going to be subgroups of women that are like feminists or they misogynist or whatever, their own ideology. But those percentage of women are very small compared to the masses. This is why a lot of women, they don't really want to be classified in those subgroups. They'll just sneak around, or they'll go about it in another way because they don't want to be in a group environment. A lot of women would rather just do it secretive, solo, and those groups of women that are solo and secretive about sneaking around behind their husbands or long-term boyfriend, those groups of women are much bigger than the subgroups, believe it or not. And that's hard for a lot of guys to swallow. But you have to understand that, if women could go out here and have sex with any guy with like a loose cannon with no consequences, with no shaming, for no consequences, you think the violence is high in this country now. Bruh, the violence would double over next couple months, couple years. The violence will be off the hook in this country. And the reason why that is because you have to understand that a lot of guys just can't stand to see certain guys kind of getting all the action from the women. There's a lot of guys that's out here that's like this, and I think this is just the majority of guys that I've met. If I'll give you an example. Let's say you go to a spot, a club, bar and grill, conference, whatever, and you have a select few guys that are, I got a phone call. What the hell was that? Oh, you got a select few guys. Let's say you got a select few guys in a spot that's getting all the attention, right? And there's always going to be a certain group of guys that just can't stand that. They can't stand when the majority of women are gravitating towards the top guys in the spot. And like I said, this is based on the guy that's the guy in the spot could be a guy that has access to resources. Maybe he's a mover and a shaker, or maybe they got some intel about the guy, that maybe he's good in the sack. You don't know what these women know, but it usually lies somewhere in between those three areas. But see, there's a lot of guys that can't stand that, especially if they look at it like, hey, I work 5 days a week, I work hard, and I'm not getting no action from none of these women. So I gotta pay to get a prostitute or escort. So what the hell am I working for? You know what I'm saying? A lot of these guys, the beta guys that think like this, look at it like, what the hell are these guys doing that I'm not? This guy can barely hold a job. He didn't go to Ivy League college, and he doesn't even make as much money as me. He doesn't drive a better car than me. He doesn't live in the same neck of the woods as me. But here I am. I'm on paper. I'm doing better than him, but I just don't have the charm and the charisma, and I'm not getting the results and the looks and the attention from the women as him. So a lot of these guys will say, well, what the hell am I working hard for? You know what I'm saying? And these same guys it would be hell in these streets. These same guys would fucking get violent, because this shit happens. It happens all across the country. It's guys that are fed up with women. Some of them call themselves MGTOW, some of them call themselves the alt-right. These guys are fed up with women. They're angry. They don't like the way shit is going in this country. And if you think it's bad now, even though the crime is low in this country, believe it or not, if you think it's bad now in this country, if women could just go out there and do whatever they want without no consequences, and sleep with who they want, how they want, where they want, as many times as they want, it would be hell in this country. It would be chaos. It would be chaos in this country, man. It really would be, man. I'm telling you. Because this is what guys just don't like, when a small percentage of guys get the attention from the majority of women in the room. They just don't like it. That's where the term player hater comes from. Because The majority of guys just can't accept that shit. They just don't like it, especially if you cross over into other groups, nationalities. They hate that shit. This has been my experience. Being a black male in like certain groups, going to certain countries and certain environments, I just could see the hate in a lot of these guys' eyes. And that hate it stems from being that a lot of guys have their perceptions, and a lot of guys heard about certain stereotypes, and plus, like a lot of guys they just want to hold on to the women. They just want to control. They act like they own the women. That's the mindset of a lot of guys. They act like they want to own the pussy, you know. So, so that's what that hate stems from. It's like they can't stand to see some guy that's doing something that they're doing something that's much faster than me, probably much better than me, and I'm over here on the side. I got to do all this extra stuff for her to even give me a time of the day. But meanwhile, I come through, I stick out because I'm different, and I don't got to do half of the stuff of what he had to do. See, that's what a lot of that stems from. See, me on the other hand, I don't care what the other guy is doing. I never really cared. See, I'm not worried about what the other guy is doing. I'm worried about what I'm gonna do next, because it's chess, not checkers. See, the mistake that a lot of guys make is they keep worrying about what other guys are doing. What they doing over there, man? Man, they got favoritism over there, man. Man, he's holding much more than me, man. I can't compete with him, man. I don't think like that. I don't care what the other guy's doing. You know what I'm saying? If you're thinking about what the other guy is doing, you're a beta guy. What are you doing? What are you thinking? You have to focus on yourself so you can get better. If you're focused on the next man, how's that going to move you forward? What are you going to learn from that? What are you going to take from that? What does that say about you? And women, they can pick up on that. If you keep talking about the next man or who's this guy, and start investigating the guy and do a background check on the guy, that's just a waste of time, So a lot of women will get with guys that's a good provider, but basically this guy is gonna have to pay for her to be with him. Basically, he's a good provider. He might be a pretty decent guy. He might be a good guy, but a lot of these guys are he probably wasn't her first choice, and they'll get with these guys, and they'll have the whole thing set up before they even get with the guy. They'll get with him, but she's gonna have her other guys, maybe 1 to 2 guys on the side, and she'll come out every once in a while, have a good time, and go back home and act like nothing happened. So it's like 2 different worlds for her. You got your home life, and you got your fun time. Yeah, that's how a lot of relationships are being maintained today. Believe it or not, really. Because a lot of guys just want to see things the way they want to see it. And that's really what it is. And a lot of women, unfortunately, feel like they have to go along with that narrative. Because a lot of guys just can't take it. I think a lot of guys just can't. It's some women out here that think just like guys. Believe it or not. Yeah. It's women. The funny thing is, it's some women that go along with the narrative that a lot of guys think. And these women will get with guys that don't go along with that narrative. I'll give you an example. I've met women that really think that if the guy that they get married to, or me, I'm talking me. Like when I get with them, and when I meet them, they want to be in a relationship with me, right? And they really think that somehow that if I get with them, once I commit to them, that somehow I'm the only person that they probably gonna be with sexually for the rest of my life. These women think that somehow that they're the best thing smoking in the sack, and somehow they can win me over and change my mind, change my way of thinking, because they're the ultimate woman, and they're different from any other woman, and we can live happily ever after, and they can please me in any and every other way as humanly possible. And I met some women that were thinking like this. They say stuff like, if you have to have more than one woman sexually, you need to grow up. You're immature, right? Now they'll say this about guys, but they're not going to say that about women. You see how women play games? They have a lot of shaming tactics. Women will give guys a set of rules to live by, but it doesn't apply to them. You see how that works? So this is why a lot of guys get caught up into that. See, a lot of women will, they'll try to shame guys into doing things and believing things for their benefit only, for her benefit only. Because she wants to preserve what she has at the house. She wants things to be a certain type of way, right? Because she really wants to control everything secretly. See, a lot of women will, on the surface level, make it seem like the guy's really running shit, running the household and everything. But in reality, she's really manipulating him the whole goddamn time. And these same women will manipulate him, make it seem like, he's king of the castle. And every once in a while, she's going to slide out and go sleep with somebody else and come back home and make it seem like nothing happened. And these same women, you see them all hugged up with their husband or their long-term boyfriend that they had. And a couple days before, or a couple days later, she had my penis all in her mouth. You know what I'm saying? So this is what happens out here. this is what happens out here. I'm not. And let's be clear. I don't judge women by anything that they do. I don't judge. The only time I judge a woman is when they misrepresent themselves around me. When they say when they present themselves to be one thing, but later on it turns out to be something else. That's the really only time. Or if they do something directly or indirectly that affects my way of living or my way of being. But other than that, I don't really judge women. You know, I mean, if I get to know them and they say, "Hey, this is who I am. I take care of my family. I work hard. I play hard. Every once in a while, I like to party. I like having a good time." I don't have a problem with that. Not at all. I've met many women that told me, "Hey, I work hard. I play hard. I like going to certain parties, private parties, swingers clubs, dance clubs. I like to drink. I like to get high, whatever." Okay, cool. So even I kind of respect that when they come out like that, because that gives me the decision is on me whether I want to hang out with this person or not. So I don't got a problem with that. Just like I have a good friend today. I met here in Georgia, right? She's the older one. She's not too much older than me, but she's older than me. But she's a loving, caring, nurturing, a very intelligent woman. She got a family. She got kids. She got grandkids. Very supportive. Everything. She'll come out every once in a while, and she's told me on numerous occasions she's been going to adult private parties for years. But she said every once in a while she just gotta go to a adult party, swinger type party, right? But now when I first heard that from her, it's kind of like wow, really? You go to those parties? She said, yeah. Wow, So it kind of threw me off because I already had a perception of her way in advance, months before I even found that out about her. But I mean, she's not hurting anybody. I mean, when she told me that, I kind of laughed. I was like, wow, really? Yeah, but they are who they are, man. If you try to make sense of anything or a lot of stuff that women do and how they go about living their life, it's gonna run you crazy. It's gonna run you crazy, and you're gonna be angry. Just like today, there's nothing that a woman can do that catches me off guard. That surprised me at this point in my life. I'm in the 40s, so I mean, I've had so many different experiences. I've seen so much in my life, and I'm only getting started. There's a lot more that I haven't seen. Believe it or not, I've seen a lot. I've done a lot. But there's more. There's more. Hopefully, within the next 10 years, I'll be able to double my experiences of what I've seen already. Because I'm much more open. I'm much more aware of what's going on today. Really, But if you're a guy, you just gotta begin to see things how it really is out here in all aspects of your life. Not just women. Women are just women are just a part of it. So it's like you have to begin just see things for what it is, not the way you want it to be. You know. And I talked about a lot of this in my book. It's all here. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. I talk about seduction in my book, sexual seduction, to be exact. And see, in this society, there's something that people call social engineering, and that's basically when when people put certain things in society because they want things to go a certain type of way. Like they have a narrative, and they have a social construct. They want things to go a certain type of way, which is not natural. Which is, you know, this is made up, which is engineered, and then you have, you know, seduction. When it comes to seduction, you're actually going, you're not going against the grain. You're actually going the natural way. You're not really forcing women to do anything. You're basically saying to her, hey, this is you being your natural self. You should be comfortable with this. That's the basis of seduction, basically. You know, this is why a lot of married women, they're kind of easy. Kind of. If they run into the right guy, one of those guys like me, they're kind of easy. And I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying that's just what it is. You know? Because a lot of married women, like I said, they get married for the most part, they get married to providers. They didn't get married to the guy because he was the bomb in the sack. And he might be okay, but they got married to the guy for a lot of different reasons. And sex is not on the top of the list. You know, sex might not be on the top 5 of the list. So a lot of women kind of suppress their sexuality. But when they get around a guy that they can feel on a emotional, intellectual level, or emotional intelligence, with emotional intelligence, or a guy that kind of that she kind of looks up to to a certain extent, or kind of understands where she's coming from, or understands who she is, she'll pick up on that energy, and eventually, if she stays around him long enough, she'll start to gravitate towards him. And these kind of guys make their panties wet. I'm one of those guys, right? These type of guys make their panties wet. See, this is basically how it is. If the woman panties get wet around a guy, she's ready to get down. And if you're a guy, and if you on hard, you're ready to get down too. That's natural. That's a natural thing. Now, if you're a guy and you don't get up when you see a woman, listen, you know there's nothing there. You know. And if you're a woman, and if your panties don't get wet around certain guys, well, you know ain't nothing there. That's a natural thing. It's nothing to be ashamed of at all. This is why a lot of people like watching porn. This is why a lot of people like going to the strip club. Because it's kind of like a fantasy. But within every fantasy, there's truth. Just like within every stereotype, there's truth. It's just not the whole truth. The reason why a lot of people like looking at porn, because those people are living out their fantasy, at least part of it anyway. You know, I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, you got a woman that's doing porn because she basically loves to fuck. She's not doing it because she hates it. No way. It's not really all about the money. Of course, she wants to get paid, but she likes sex. So it's kind of like, since I like doing it so much, and plus, why don't I find a way to get paid from it? That's all it is. That's really all it is. You know? Really. But, you know, I just think the reason why a lot of guys have so much problems today is because they want to control everything. They want to control a woman, like own her, like she's property or something like that. But another problem with that way of thinking is if you have that mindset around women or around your wife, or maybe you live with a girl that's like this, she's not going to be able to open up to you sexually. I doubt it. You know, because see, with women, it's all about how they feel. It's all about her being comfortable with you. See, this is one thing I know. If you can get a woman to feel comfortable around you, sky's the limit. Just like I said, remember this. I'm going to end this video. Remember this. There's two types of guys that will always have access to women. The guys with access to resources, and the guys that can blow that thing up in the bedroom. Those guys will always have access to women. I don't care what nationality he is, what color his skin is, what religion he is. None of that matters, buddy. It doesn't matter. The guys that have access to all the resources, and they can blow that back out in the bed, they're always gonna have access to women. I don't care what somebody told you. I don't care what you heard on the television or saw in the movies. I don't care what your mama or your daddy told you. I don't care about skin color. None of that matters, buddy. It just is what it is. If you can do those two things, or both, the women are going to find you. Directly or indirectly. And most women are going about it in a subtle way anyway. And the internet is just making it much easier for people today, more than ever. Really. Really, it's all about how you communicate, online or offline. If you're a good communicator, if you know what to say, the sky's the limit. All you gotta do is present yourself as you would online or offline, in a certain manner that's attractive to women. The internet is just another channel to promote, send messages. That's all it is. Plain and simple, man. You know, I've met women from all over the world online. I don't talk about it a lot because no one really asks. And a lot of experiences that I've had, if I was to tell you about it, you probably wouldn't believe it anyway. So, and plus, me doing these videos is not really about me. It's really about you. Because I, when I do these videos, I want, I want it to be impactful. I focus on the impact. I don't focus on the numbers very much. I want impact, you know. And I do these videos, man, because I get questions a lot from people. You know, people, and these types of videos I wish I had when I was in my 20s, my early 20s, or in my teens, when I was 18, 19. I wish I had somebody to give me this advice. But I didn't have, I had to learn through trial and error. I had to learn as I go, or as I went. So hey, man, if you like this video, go get my book on Amazon.com. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I'm out. See you in the next video.